Alright everyone, here's some more bullshit propaganda from the lamestream media. Reuters on Twitter posting apparently like a privately recorded little video of Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and there was like a dog that was like, you know, wagging its tail frantically and licking her face, and she's like trying to get up and can't. She's like laughing her ass off. And I'm thinking to myself, wonderful, yeah, Scott Adams would say persuasion, I would just call it propaganda. This is pure propaganda. There's no way in hell you can possibly convince me that if this were like say it were Trump, say someone's dog like gets up to Trump and jumps up and starts licking him and he's like petting it on the head and laughing. Don't you think that the MSM's headlines would be, oh, well, you know, Trump propaganda piece, he was holding a pretzel in his mouth the whole time or something? Of course they would. But if you suggest that about AOC, you're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I suggest that this may not have been an authentically organic encounter. And if it is, what the hell does that have to do with policy? Cortez supports policies that make people have to eat their dogs. They'd have to eat their cats and their snakes and everything else too. They'd be eating cockroaches pretty quick because we'd be living in breadline land. Yeah, no thanks. Believe it or not, dogs sometimes get affectionate. Wow, it's a big revelation. This is, again, sort of, she's good at doing this. And you'll notice, I think, somebody's posted this on 4chan, actually. And I think they might actually have something to it this time. Like, it's not just a shitpost. The number of threads about how wonderful she was, like largely inauthentic threads, suddenly dropped off to a very low number around the time that they were like, oh, they're investigating some of her, like, office finances and stuff. And all of a sudden those threads disappear. I'm thinking to myself, that is a little bit oddly coincidental. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, there's probably nothing to it, but it is an odd coincidence, let's just say. But yeah, dogs get affectionate sometimes. And it's sort of like when Bernie Sanders had that one moment where the little sparrow, like, got onto his podium, and he's just looking at it like he doesn't know exactly what to do. It's like, it is theoretically possible that someone arranged for that to happen. You know, trained birds are indeed a thing. It is possible. Could some staffer who happens to do stage magic have fomented that a few weeks in advance? Said, "Oh, this will be great. Trust me, this will be the viral moment of the weekend." Of course they could. It's physically possible. You have to ask, what are the odds of it happening coincidentally? Birds typically avoid areas where there are large crowds of people assembled. They typically don't land in front of individuals for any reason unless you put birdseed there. Is there a little birdseed in the back of the podium? That's possible too. When things like this happen, yes, I question whether they're authentic, because politics is Shakespearean. It's all about smoke and mirrors. It's all about illusionism. In order to be a good politician, not just like, oh, you got into office. Okay, that just requires you have a couple good ideas. Maybe you shake some hands. Maybe you take a backroom deal. You take a bribe or blackmail, and you kiss some babies, and then you mayor of small-town America or something. If you want to get into really high-level, charismatic, federal-level politics, you have to be a little bit able to do the stage magic thing. You have to do a little bit, you're one part actor, one part stage magician. And you have to have usually a huge ego and be kind of screwed up. They've said, oh, well, you know, most of these politicians probably suffer from they're psychopaths or sociopaths or something. They have something wrong with them, otherwise they wouldn't have gotten into those positions. It requires a lot of wheeling, dealing, and backstabbing. The kind of person willing to deal with that kind of work, they have certain unique qualities generally about them. And those that don't, they tend to get assassinated or something. So, you know, so like JFK or RFK or something. Or anyone associated with them, apparently. Marilyn Monroe all of a sudden developed a drug addiction without any symptoms prior. This is a very interesting era in U.S. politics. Yeah, she was boffing both of the Kennedy brothers. Probably the other Kennedys, too. Didn't another one die in a plane crash or something? I think so. Maybe the Marilyn Monroe's illegitimate offspring affair or something. No, this is Sappy, though. This is the MSM elevates her to the status of saint because it really likes her. And part of it is, this has been spoken of, part of it is her adaptation of the Trump strategy. It really is. I mean, she says, like, the Green New Deal. Do you honestly think that Congress was ever going to seriously even consider passing it? Pelosi scoffed at it. But it made news headlines for all the wrong reasons. They did bungle that, in all honesty, which is why I don't see it as on the same order as, like, Build the Wall or something. But it was a good attempt. And stuff like this, I think the main problem is it'll get old really quick. You could end up getting to a political position in the next, you know, decade or so, where people become nostalgic for just being at peace and being left alone a little bit more, and you stop seeing so much tabloid stuff. Because what's going to happen, I think, is the lamestream media that likes corporate politicians like AOC. She's in bed. Of course, she's sold out by now. Don't fucking kid yourself. They love people like this. They're more easily controlled. You don't need that many people within the political structure to have quite a bit of power. These people shake hands with one another and with corporations, banks. They're all intertied together. They like people like this. The independent media, though, is kicking the MSM's ass. And what's going to happen is the independent media, regardless of how many censorship maneuvers the MSM makes on like YouTube or Twitter, is always going to outmaneuver them. They're simply more numerous and more efficient, don't have to worry about money as much. And a whole new generation of creators is now up and coming. And what you don't see among that is a fixation on stuff like this, like the really ooshy-gooshy, like, oh, isn't that so cute moment thing doesn't really work. There's a desensitization, I think, at some point, too, because we were raised on Icon Has Cheeseburger and lolcats and shit like that. So the whole cute animal thing is like, that's hypersaturated too. I can go on YouTube and search for kitten videos, and I can sit there literally all day, every day for weeks and weeks and never exhaust just the good ones. So who cares about this politician getting licked in the face by a dog? People made a million jokes. They're like, oh, what else would she like to do with the dog? Which, that's a little bit below the belt, but it was kind of funny. My thing was like, yeah, under socialism, under her policies, that dog would be very valuable. It'd be a meal. Feed a family of 4. Something like that. And then, like, you know, she smeared peanut butter on her face, or oh, I didn't know that dogs liked horses that much, and stuff like that. Really, what it is just a politician. What you're seeing, the propaganda message is, look, dogs like this person. It's like cute, and therefore she's cute and charming and stuff like that. What you're really seeing is a very wealthy now politician with crazy ideas. Encounter a normal situation, which everyone has probably encountered, where a dog decides that it just likes you for some reason, wants to lick your face. That's really all you're seeing, and plus it's divorced of context. Like, before this, was there any exchange? Did she go up to the dog, oh, is it a cute doggy, doing the baby talk thing? Probably. Yeah, get it all riled up, and then people start recording once they realize, oh, this is shit, this is a politician, you know, this is kind of cute, so I'll take a video of it. And it's like people attach greater meaning. Much like with the Bernie bird there were some people who literally began to refer to it in messianic terms, like, oh my god, nature has chosen him to lead the struggle against climate change, or this is God's way of letting us know we must vaccinate. It became almost religious. And we've seen this at Trump rallies too, don't get me wrong. In fact, he's the master of doing it, which is why I think ultimately that for right now the progressive movement has a major hurdle to overcome that I don't think that they ultimately can. I think that they lose to the same neoliberals, schism, and it becomes a temporary sort of Occupy style movement. I really do. That's about all. Peace out.